Oh, fuck, my bad. I was just getting into music. What is up, everybody? Thank you very much for joining me today on another episode of Arby's RBB, Random Bracket Battles. I'm your host, AA Ron, and with me is my trusty co-friend, Alcohol. Today, I am drinking one of Kanye's drinks, Genius. You can see right there. Genius, Rapper, Dropped, Draft, whatever. Story, stout, whatever. Stout. Oh, it's a snout I'm thinking of. Jesus Christ. It is late because originally I do these during the day, but this week, long story short, messed up week. My amazing life partner, wife, Angel, had the kids all week. This is probably the best time I can do this show because tomorrow I want to take the kids off of her hands as much as possible. Just trying to be a good partner. Trying to have that balance because like Limp Bizkit, I did it all for the nookie. Oh, the nookie. Just gotta be careful or you're gonna get another kid to stick it up your Anyways, so we got another board ready. We're ready to go. My lovely producer Saul and my amazing producer Josh is in the background right now. Go ahead and help me do with this show today. So without further ado, she's got a list of like maybe anywhere between like 20 and 24 films. She's going to pick 8 of them, 2 at a time, battle it out and see which one comes out top. So without further ado, let's get started. Excuse me. First one we got. By the way, if my ass crack shows, you're welcome. Logan Lucky. Perfect. Scream 2. I was just thinking Logan Lucky. If this was Logan versus Scream 2, layup. Be a layup. Logan's such a good fucking movie. Like, how does DC not understand? It's a great comic book, but they didn't take fucking 5 different Wolverine comic books and just shove it down our throat. I mean, that was Superman's second fucking story, and you're gonna kill him up. Superman. The motherfucker lived from 1931, and he died in 1992. What is that? 61 years he was around? And this cocksucker lived 3 fucking years, and he's dead. But it's okay, he's back. Is he, though? Because Zack Snyder... Jesus fucking Christ. Anyways, we got Logan Lucky versus Scream 2. We got a Wes Craven versus a Steven Soderbergh film. In my opinion, a very underrated Steven Soderbergh movie versus a very underrated Scream movie. I know Scream 1 is so good, and it is. Scream 2 is underrated. Let's be fucking real. Is it the same stuff? Yes, if you're talking about the kills. To be fair, though, aren't they all the kind of the same? I haven't seen Scream 6. I've seen the trailers, so I know there's a shotgun involved, but from what I heard, it's still just stabby stab, blood, glut, glut, Nemo, Fabio. There's no originality with the kills. There's no, like, Jason, like, we're going to take this hot poker stick, stick it up her ass, and that's going to traject up to his nostril, and then 2 for 1. But the story behind it, the twist behind it, it's all still there. Did the Uh-oh. All right, so I'm going to need you to do me a favor. Give me a thumbs up if you can still hear me, because my headphone just died. Real quick, give me a thumbs up in the chat if you can still hear me.
We can hear you.
Perfect. Thank you. Ah, damn headphones. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties. Scream 2 is, I think, is just as good as the first one. It's not as classic, it's not as memorable because nothing's gonna be as good as the first one, except for The Godfather 2, Empire Strikes Back, Deadpool 2. I will fucking fight you on a hill. Deadpool 2 is better than Deadpool. Uh, so you can make a case for Aliens, which might make this list, but I'm an Alien type of dude. T2 Judgment Day. Point is, there's not a lot of sequels that will overpass the original because the original is original for a fucking reason. But I do like it how this is the first to go into, well, this is a sequel, so this is what you have to do for sequels. Meaning the only thing to do creative to go to the trilogy is to talk about trilogies, and they just kept that ball rolling. That doesn't happen if you don't have this movie. If this movie fails, this franchise doesn't go anywhere. Scream 3, out of all of them, and I'm just talking about from Scream 1 to 5, out of all of them, you could say Scream 3 is the weakest. It is not a bad movie, though. It is the weakest. It's not a bad movie. That ain't a fucking bad rep, though, especially for a fucking slasher franchise, for God's sake. That ain't bad at all. Again, it could be better if it was just more than just stabby stab, running away. Oh my God, who did it? Because there is no, you just have the Scream face. There's not a Scream presence. There's not a Scream like it's just skin. That's all it is. It's not a soul. It's just who it is. It's not like the creeper. It's not like Michael or any other horror movie icon that you can think of. Maybe Darth Vader, because technically, ironically, because he lost his skin, he got the Darth Vader, and that was his skin. But then again, he was also batshit fucking crazy because he saw his mom get killed right in front of his eyes. That's that's got to be one of the most interesting characters of all. I mean, to watch your mom die, to protect your wife, to be lied your wife died, and then to say, no, I killed him. I'm the one who killed him. You are batshit crazy. You need better help. So, put down your lightsaber, eat some applesauce. You fucking need help, dude. And he got it, but he died anyway, so fuck him, right? Logan Lucky, as I said, underrated fucking film. You got Channing Tatum. You have, speaking of Star Wars, you got Adam Driver. You got Hilary Swank, um, which, again, spoilers for all these movies. It is interesting. At the end of the movie, Hilary Swank figures it out. She can't prove shit, but she figures it out. And she's there at their bar, and she's just waiting for them to fuck up. Now, if I remember correctly, the brothers and the really hot looking sister does not know that Hillary Swank is a cop, let alone that they know she's a cop that's on the case to figure out who did the robbery. So it's interesting. It's very fascinating that they didn't make a sequel, knowing how Hollywood is, that they did not make a sequel. However, comma, I like that so much better. You leave this pocket universe just as it is, because everything's got to be a universe. Fine. This one movie is its own universe. Leave that alone. You don't need anything else. You gave us a beginning, you gave us a story, you gave us an end. Does it go anywhere? You decide. You make it up in your fucking mind. Maybe she goes there every day and just goes, I respect you guys because you're the one case that I know I couldn't do, but I couldn't solve. It's kind of ironic because she was in Insomnia where Al Pacino planted evidence, but to put somebody he knew did the crime to put away. Hilary Swank comes in, and at the end of the movie, she wants to throw away the bullet, and then Al Pacino's the one saying, "No, you got to be honest because if you go down this path now, you will become just like me." It's not this. It's not because of the sun why that's constantly up why I can't sleep. It's my guilt. I cannot teach you that. My last thing to do on this earth is to do something good, which is ruin my reputation. If that means all these people got to go out, but to save your soul, I will make that trade. That's a great fucking movie. If I could do like 8 of Nolan's films, that would be fuck me. That would talk about a long. You talking about a long episode? I can get through Tarantino like that. But anyways, and Fincher. Fincher would be a fun one too. So between these two, it's kind of a hard one, but I would have to go with because I don't want to get too in depth with it. That was my mistake last week. I got too in depth with things way too quick, and I didn't have anything to talk about. I ran out of gas, which is funny because Logan Lucky is the heist is built around a fucking race. I feel like the twists and what the heist brings versus the who done it is way more interesting in Logan Lucky. So I think I'm gonna have to go with Logan Lucky. Scream is dude, Scream's so much fun. Scream is good. It's a great run to have, but I mean they kill Randy, and I never liked that. I thought that was a dumb decision. I thought it was dumb. I mean, just typical white girl dumb shit of just, oh, his face is right there. I can take his mask off. And then Cindy runs away and goes, I have to know, and then runs back. You should know this game by now. He's not gonna fucking be there. Not only that, why the fuck didn't Tommy, if that was his name, had no bruises? The motherfucker was knocked out in that car wreck. How the fuck did he just stay the way? Maybe he had a little cut, maybe. But you're telling me this dude got knocked, he's a psychopath who has been on this journey funded by Billy's mom for, let's just say, at least 3 years, right? Okay, fuck it, at least 2 years. He has been on this fucking path of just, I've killed, I like it, it's not my time, it's not my time, kill, 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 kill. And he's just, his adrenaline is all there. Like he's had this shit locked down. His mental is just pinpointed focus because the news is gonna create this story. I'm gonna be the celebrity. I'm gonna be the new what's Lee Shriver's Cotton Weary. I'm gonna be the new Cotton Weary. And it doesn't go anywhere because Billy Mom's kills him. But the fact of like, if he didn't get anything except like a little bump on the head, and that's what made him pass out, I don't believe that. Where in Logan Lucky, it's a movie, yes, but for what the movie represents or what the movie brings to the table, legitimately, it's all believable. I mean, it's Soderbergh. The last great heist movie, I don't count Ocean's 12 because that's a rip-off sequel. And to fix it, they had to do 13. So I'm only talking about Ocean's 11. That's the best heist movie he's made since Ocean's 11, which is one of my favorite films. And this one ain't that fucking far behind it. I mean, there's a lot more I can say about it, but I don't want to use up the. So Green is out, and Logan Lucky moves on. Yeah, man. I really thought I really thought Scream was gonna take that. But hey man, that's the fucking show. Genius. Joshy here says, to me, Logan Lucky had more layers, but both are classics. I mean, to say that, and I agree with you, but say that that was 90, holy shit. Scream 2 was 1997, whereas Logan Lucky was 2017. And I agree with you, they are still both classics. I mean, in my eyes, it has to go at least 10 years for it to be, is this still good in our eyes? Which we're only 3 years away. I still think that Logan Lucky will gain momentum and will be solidified as a classic. Will just only put another notch under Soderbergh of this is a great fucking film. I mean, without Magic Mike, you don't get this. You don't get this. I haven't seen Magic Mike 2 because I don't want to squirt everywhere watching fucking Deathstroke dancing to Backstreet Boys to a convenience store, a convenient girl clerk. But I've seen the first Magic Mike, brilliant fucking movie. Anything with Matthew McConaughey, even though what I just said, anything with Matthew McConaughey and I can see his abs, I'm a dude. I'm good. I'm good. I just didn't like it how, again, I've never seen the second one of how Magic Mike ends. Like it's basically, I don't want to do this anymore. I have no idea what I'm going to do, and the movie ends again. Again, you have no idea how it's going to end.
leave it alone. And women just needed to flick that bean one more time, and they had to make the fucking second one. And it's just so he went back to it again. I haven't seen it, so I don't have a horse in this race at all. But I mean, and for the second one, we have Godzilla 2014 versus The Mummy. For the longest time, ooh, for the longest time, I thought Godzilla 2014 was the best Godzilla movie I ever saw. The first one I ever saw was not Hans Zimmerman, Roland Emmerich's. That's such a weird fucking name. There was like 6 months I refused to Google his name because I'm like, I can get it. I can get either I'm gonna get it or someone's gonna say the name. And then I was just watching The Patriot and I forgot he directed it. And I was like, oh, that's right. There's that cocksucker's name. Such a weird fucking Roland. I get that, but not why not Roland? Or why not Ralph? Roland. Roland. It's like the mom got Bell's palsy as she was giving birth. Push Mrs. Kensington. Or push Mrs. What the fuck's his last name? Roland Emmerich. And what kind of fucking Emmerich? Emmerich. 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 Roland Emmerich. Jesus fucking Christ. So stupid. I thought, because that was the first Godzilla I ever watched, and every time watching as a kid, I didn't give a fuck about the characters. I just wanted to get to Godzilla. And with this universe, nothing has changed. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a tiddly fuck about the human characters, especially when you get to Godzilla versus Kong. I don't give a flying fuck about any of the characters. I don't give a fuck. I What pisses me off is that Alexander Skarsgård was in The Long Shot, then he was in this, and the year after he becomes a moth, uh, the Viking in The Northman, a moth, whatever the fuck. It just makes me mad that he was in that because this was this easy cash grab. I don't. He had to be legally contra. He had to be like legally. He had to have done it. He had to have been made to do it. And then there's that other girl who was Rebecca Hall. She's better than this shit. She's better than this. And then you have fucking. I know she had to come back, Millie Bobby Brown, which I don't give a fuck about her in either Godzilla King of Monsters or Godzilla versus Kong. But that's another. This whole universe just pisses me off. Aaron Taylor Johnson, you got Bullet Train, you got Nocturnal Animals. If you have not seen that movie, it is easily my favorite movie of 2016. Go back and see what came out in 2016. It's a murderous row. That's easy my favorite one. Amy Adams, Jake Gyllenhaal, Mike Shannon. I forget who directed it, but it is a fucking great movie. And Aaron Taylor Johnson, once you see him, technically that character isn't real because it's being told through the eyes of what Jake Gyllenhaal's character wrote in order to tell Amy Adams' character, this is how I feel about the divorce and everything. He's a slime fucking ball, and he plays it just so fucking perfect. That was 2 years later. Before this, he was Kick Ass, not the greatest comic book movie. I get that, but damn good. And in Kick Ass 2. How do you go from those two movies? You get to this one, you have no emotion. If it's fear, if it's desire, if it's happiness, if it's reminiscence, if it's my adrenaline's kicking in, or I think he was in the army, or my military training's kicking in, he has one face. Claire, I can't let my father be into my life. I just can't let that happen again. Sir, are you gonna go get Godzilla? Well, then I'm with you. You ate the MRE too? Yeah, I didn't take a bad shit. You want to see my face for it? Dog shit. Whereas Bryan Cranston, he made that fucking trailer. Go back, watch any of the Godzilla 2014 trailers. They fucking nail it to hype you up with it. It's a damn good fucking trailer. And you have Bryan Cranston saying, the fact is that you're hiding something out there, and it's gonna send us back to the Stone Age. That's great. But in that same fucking scene, his Walter White just comes out and just blurts out, "My wife died in here, and I have a right to know." And you're just, oh shit, man. I know he's going through some stuff. He was right all along. He needs to know what happens. He kind of finds out, and then you fucking kill him. You should have killed off Aaron Taylor Johnson, man. You should have killed him off, and now you have a more of a reason for these fucking Mutos to die, because not only did you take out Bryan Cranston's wife, but now the son, who now left Elizabeth Olsen, uh, a widow, with a son of herself, fatherless. It would have made way more fucking. We would have been way more attached. But like I said, I don't give a tiddly fuck about the human characters, because they treated Godzilla and the Mutos like animals. This one's male, this one's female. They're gonna build a nest, they're gonna gather food, they're gonna mate, they're gonna reproduce, circle of life. Here comes Godzilla. I maybe like kind of like out of nature thing, but I don't know. I'm not a fucking zoologist. Here to go, oh, those are two big ass things. Yeah, fuck that. I'm the biggest cock here. I'm gonna take them down. And it was great. And sure, you can make all your fucking judgments on, well, how come his atomic breath isn't as cool? First of all, this was the first IMAX movie I've ever seen in my life. So the shot when we go to Hawaii, and the shot of him going up and up and up and up and up, and he roars, just panties soaked. I need to change. Clean up on aisle me. One of the biggest arguments is you don't see the monsters fight. We got to see the monsters fight. Why? It's not a monster fighting genre, it's a monster movie. You have the monsters. You're having the scenes of the male Muto escaping. You got the really suspenseful scene of the female Muto taking out the train that has the nuke, and you have, Aaron Taylor Johnson up there, Brody, I think is his name, sitting up there, and this bridge is so high that it's barely passing this ginormous animal's head. That's how tall it is, but it's a very chilling scene. And and Gareth Edwards supposedly did that so fucking well, of just really capturing like the real fear behind these giant fucking creatures. Why would you want to see the fight? Because you know there's going to be a third act when they're all going to brawl. So why would you want to see it now? Wouldn't you rather be fucking fingered and then get the dick? I don't get it. Why do you want to be fucked now and then okay, cunnilingus? No, I'm set. I'm already spent. Well, we got an hour and a half of the film to go. Well, I just want to go take a nap. So there's our sex life, and that's why we're getting a divorce. Why would you want the action now? I don't fucking get it. I think he did a brilliant fucking way of showing it without really showing it. Kind of like when you're getting into the casino when the female Muto is just rummaging through uh, the strip of Las Vegas, and you see her on the screens that no one's paying attention to, because no one does pay attention to the news. So that was a fucking key moment. Or when they're in San Francisco and the male Muto is attacking Godzilla when he gets there, and you barely see something, but then you do get the fight, and then you do get his atomic breath. When I forgot all about his atomic breath, because I didn't grow up with the 70s, with the Japanese 70s one. I knew he had it, but it wasn't solidified in my mind. What was solidified was this a giant fucking creature who takes down other giant creatures. That's it. Basically, a Power Ranger without ears. Basically, that's it. So when his tail starts to go blue, squirt session number two, and then fucking boom, he hits the male Muto. But when he does the money shot in her in the female Muto's mouth, dude, and then it's such an explosion, it takes her head off. It's awesome. And I hate it that they did make a second one and make him more powerful because now the question is, well, why wasn't he as powerful? Well, it's because he wasn't in his atmosphere for too long. Like you're bringing too much bullshit lore into this. You're These movies should just be Transformers movies. These should be old grandma movies where you just shut your brain off. You go, pretty lights. Okay. These are what I like to call, that I just coined, Christmas movie, or Christmas lights movies. It's a lot of setup. It takes a lot of work and a lot of effort to make it look nice, and it looks pretty, but it's only there for a second, and you don't really remember anything else about it. You just go, I saw color. Yeah, that's basically what it was. I'm not saying this movie's garbage because it's not. I still like it. There's a lot of problems with it, especially after seeing Godzilla minus one, where it's done right. It's hard not to say there's a lot of fuck ups in Godzilla 2014. Moving on, the Mummy. Okay, so I think I said it before. Whether it be parodies, the ride, or the attraction at Disney World, or just people talking about it, I have been told so much of Raiders of the Lost Ark, especially that opening scene, that by the time I like in the propeller scene and him being afraid of snakes and the staff where the light goes in and then it shows where the arc really is. Not only that, but like what the arc actually does to everybody and all the Nazis at the end. That by the time I watched it, I'm like, I've seen this, I know about that, I know about that. I've seen this movie without ever watching the fucking film. I have all the knowledge there. I just never watched it before, and that really took all the fun away from it. So by the time I got to Last Crusade, I'm like, okay, that's clearly the best. But Indiana Jones was already, he wasn't my character. He was somebody else's character that I knew of, and then I watched it. So he doesn't belong to me. You know what I mean? I think you guys know what I mean. Like, speaking of Brendan Fraser, George of the Jungle. People my age, that's my character. Mighty Joe Young, that's my movie. Because no one told, especially the day of the internet, no one told us this is a good movie. I mean, a lot of movies these days I can't claim as mine. There's only a handful that I can be like Birdman. I went out and I rented a shit ton of movies, and Birdman just so happened to be one of them. That's why I fucking love that movie. That's why Birdman was the first winner on this show, first episode, um, because that's my movie. I discovered it. Nobody told me to go see it. That's why Jaws will never be my number one Spielberg movie. It can't be. It doesn't feel like my movie. Is it a great movie? 100%. I didn't discover it. I was told by many, 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 many people that it is. The Mummy is one that me and my dad, our bonding, especially after the divorce, our bonding was, let's go to the theater and watch a movie. And he said, what do you want to see? It was this. I think it came out the same year, but I can't remember what time of the year. But the Rugrats movie, which I wasn't into, I was a Cartoon Network kid. Fuck Nickelodeon, except for Hey Arnold. Um, so I said, let's go see that because I recognized him. I was like, oh, it's George of the Jungle. Let's go see that. This movie blew my fucking mind to the point where Rick O'Connell is my Indiana Jones. That is, I will actually go with the Mummy because they wasted Bryan Cranston, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Elizabeth Olsen. Talk about great actors on our with cardboard acting. You hit the nail on the fucking head. She does the best. Well, if anybody, Brian does the best. Um, oh, who plays his wife? Oh shit! I should know this. I forget who plays the wife who dies at the beginning, but she does a really good job. Oh, this is gonna fucking bother me. But Elizabeth Olsen is the only person that I have a problem with is Aaron Taylor Johnson. Everyone else does a fine job, but he's such there's nothing to his face. He's AI, and there's only one emotion, which is none. I didn't even know that was a fucking emotion, but he goddamn mastered it. I don't get how you do that and then do Bullet Train and make me have the time of my life. I don't fucking get it. Rick O'Connell is my Indiana Jones. It's so, and when the second one came out, I was just as pumped. Is it as good as the first one? You can make an argument it's at least just as entertaining, as good, but they're still fucking fun. The third one we don't talk about, and if they ever make a fourth one, great. Brennan would have to get into great shape. They would have to bring back or have to pay for Rachel Weisz to come back if they can even fucking afford her. But then again, they would have to afford Brennan because he's an Oscar winner. Well, so is Rachel. That's right. Uh, The Mummy is such a good film. There's very little I have to say bad about it. And because of that, after I just fuckfaced Godzilla, The Mummy has to go on. I really like Godzilla. I'll put it on right now. But I'm probably gonna be on my phone a lot until it gets to the Godzilla moments, which really, and I'm sure people who know this movie, who have the gripes with it, who love to hate fuck it, who have a hate boner for this movie, will tell me that Godzilla's only in this movie maybe 11 minutes, tops 12. Tops 12 in a 2-hour film. But you can't fucking lie that that score is fucking brilliant, especially when they're haloing down into like this brownish, reddish hell of just fire and debris smoke that is San Francisco, and their smoke is already like a uh, like a like a burgundy hot cherry almost smoke red as they're propelling down, and then that just creepy chorus choir. I forgot who did the music, but he did a damn good job. However, the music for the Mummy is just as it. Everyone can hear it, and no one could probably tell me what one instrument is. But if I say the Mummy and the Mummy music, I know some people who watch this show who get me and hear the music in their head already. So Godzilla, the Mummy is all right. Let's get back to some chats. Actually, let me take a break real quick. Justin, my man, says Godzilla minus one fucking rules. Arguably the best movie of last year. I haven't seen Iron Claw because I love A24. Talk to me. What a great experience that was. That was really good. And then again, talking about A24 again, Past Lives. Watch Past Lives. Watch Past Lives. That's all I gotta say. Just watch it. Don't think about it. Just watch it. Fucking brilliant. That one was fucking amazing. Across Spider Verse was amazing. Every time I put it on for the kids, I can't help but smile. Then come down here, get my Switch, bring it upstairs, and play Mario Kart with Angel. Because just Super Mario Brothers just charms the fuck out of me, and I regret not seeing that in theaters. It would have been that would have been a perfect film. I live in Uniontown. Brownsville Drive-In is 20 minutes away from me. Hell, my dad not only lives there but grew up very close to the drive-in, and I go there so much. And that's actually a few of our first dates, Angel and mine. But they were showing Super Mario Brothers, and I'm going, That's not for me. I regret not going. That would have been the perfect film. In fact, that's how I saw the Mummy, and that's how I saw. No, excuse me. That's how I saw the Mummy Returns. Was at that same drive-in. Holy fucking shit! That was a great movie. I remember because this really fat, sassy cunt of a fourth grader when I was 9, said something like, "Do you like the Mummy?" I was like, "Yeah." Well, the Mummy Returns is even better. I was like, "Oh, okay, damn. I'm sorry you get your spaghetti and butter with your fucking Red Bull, honey boo boo. Fuck off." Jesus Christ. We got any more messages? Any more chats? Why you gotta do this to me, man? I, did I do something to you? I, I'm not trying to do a bit. Did I do something to you? Bullshit. The masturbator versus V is for vagina. This is bullshit. God damn it. Also, the instrument is fucking violin, JK. The Egyptian instrument is a Sithara? Sithara? Hey, go to sleep, piece of shit. All right. Page, God damn it. Page Master versus V for Vendetta. Page Master, 1995. I don't know where I got it from, but it, it was in my VHS collection, which is a very old sentence to say. And I just remember putting this bitch on and on and on repeat over and over and over and over again. Because as a kid, it's 75 minutes long. That's it. It's not. It does not require a lot. And again, I was only interested in it until I saw when the ceiling starts melting and it gets on. I forget the main character's name, but Macaulay. It gets onto him. So fuck Home Alone. This is my Macaulay Culkin movie. And if it wasn't, and I'm a firm believer on this, and I can't tell unless I just go to an alternate universe. The reason I mean, Back to the Future is fantastic. Let's get that out of the way. But the reason that it's one of those films, I know what I just said, but it's one of those films that I was told was good, was great, but I never really knew the little minute details other than he goes back, he's trying to get back, and that's it. That's all I knew. So, for sake of argument, I'll say I was told it was great. I should watch it, right? What got me was Christopher Lloyd. And I think if it wasn't for this film, I wouldn't have I Back to the Future would not be one of my number one movies of all time if it wasn't for this movie to introduce me to Christopher Lloyd because not long after it was either in 99 or 2000, him and Jeff Daniels come out with a movie called My Favorite Martian, and again was just in rotation. I would always rent it. I would always go back to it. I had so much fun with it. It was goofy, it was zany, and I mean, with that connection, that's probably why I like Dumb and Dumber. Because I watched Dumb and Dumber years later. Years like my aunt was babysitting me, giant fucking house, and she says, "Go in this one room and just watch a movie." And I put in Dumb and Dumber. Oh, what a cunt! Maybe she's dead. Who fucking knows? Uh, well, it's cold here, so her sub-zero temperature hasn't gone to hell yet. So who knows? Maybe she did die, and this is hell, and hell froze over. Because fuck this weather. Page Master is so much fun. The guy who voices Scooby Doo voices horror. Did not know this until COVID. So 4 years ago. Oh my god, lockdown was almost 4 years ago. Patrick Stewart voices Adventure, and I always knew Whoopi Goldberg was fantasy. Maybe that's why. Maybe, maybe, maybe that's why Mariah Carey came out that song a year later. Maybe she just fucking loved this movie. I'm a metalhead through and through. I will never not like that song. It's such a charming fucking song. just like the goddamn Page Master is. But then you have fucking V for Vendetta, that a story about an individual who got fucked over. I can't even start there. A story about a terrorist telling the people this government is fucked up, and that a year from now, I blew up. I blew up Bailey's. I'm gonna blow up Parliament in a year. Within that year, all of us are gonna gather and follow it. And he follows through with that throughout throughout the storyline. I mean, from that day, from actually moments before he blows up Bailey, he meets Evie, played by, I'm not gonna say beautifully. I'll say played by Natalie Portman. It could have been done better. It could have been done better. She did a good job. She's never an actress and I'm just like, oh yes, she's in here. That's got nothing to do with Thor and Love and Thunder. That's got nothing to do with her just being Jane Foster herself. It's got nothing to do with the fact that I don't understand how she won the Oscar in 2011 for Black Swan because, again, 2010, murderous fucking row with not only movies but performances throughout the. I mean, that was a tough uh, uh, nominations that year for those Oscars. I don't understand how she got the win though. Darren should have won for best director, but then again, it went to Tom Hooper for the King's Speech. So I mean, murderous fucking year for movies. It could have been done better. I'll just leave it at that. It's got nothing to do with Star Wars. It's got nothing to do with any of her other projects. It just when she's after she escapes her, when V tells her, "Well then, all right, I'm gonna have to take you back and shoot you," when she still thinks that she's in the camp, and then she finds out, "Oh, I'm not in the camp. I'm back in V's basement," and she's shed off all of her vulnerability, and she's coming out of her shell. It's like she's peeling off this layer of skin. She's going up and she says, God is in the rain. As if V was reborn in fire, she's being reborn in water. I don't get how you start. I get how you start to cry, but how you start to hyperventilate, I understand it. It's just the way she fucking portrayed it. It looks like she's drowning in it, which I get the metaphor of it's being in water. I'm trying to get up there. I'm trying to. I don't want to reach that. I don't want. She reaches the ideology. I'll say good enough to where I want to reach this place, but I'm so afraid of reaching it because this is how my mother died, my father died, and my fucking baby brother was just so happened to cross him, got hit in the crossfire. But really, what happened was this cunt of a government made a fucking virus, then started, then manufactured a vaccine, then started selling it to the people where we's got it for free. So, oh, dude, I watched this movie and like on shrooms, and I never had acid, but on shrooms and a lot of weed, and I was just we there was a reserved Air Force base not far from me in Syracuse when lockdown went down, and I was feeling a lot like Henry Hill and Goodfellas. So you see those helicopters, they're following me. I legitimately thought they were scanning the areas to see where they were going to bomb because the scare of COVID was so fucking tremendous. It was threatening. Yeah. So that's why I have a connection with that movie. It's not because of COVID. It's because it's a great fucking film to begin with. I again, she gets the ideology of I don't want to reach that because I know what happens when you cross this line. I mean, Jesus, when she was taken, the guy who made fun of, I know it's John Hurt, um, Sutler, Adam Sutler, on his TV show, they fucking Creedy fucking bashes his head in and black bags his fucking punk ass, and he's dead. Like you can't say shit. That's why America is the best country in the world. You will never take away a free speech. You fucking try to, well, dickhead, you're gonna fucking have some repercussions. Every action has a reaction. And that reaction is going to be. All I'll say is we got rednecks who marry mannequins, who at the same time have thousands of machine guns. Connect those dots, douchebag. Try to take our shit. Genius. I wish they would just recast Natalie Portman. That being said, I can't believe I'm going to do this because of that. Pagemaster is fun. It's a great, great story, but there's nothing there. It's a fun kids movie, but there's nothing there other than the message of get out of your shell and experience more. It's not read more. That's not the message. It's not to read more. It's to take more chances on life. But all he really does with that is before he goes to the library, there's a ramp, and he goes, "Well, I don't want to do that." He's got all these reflectors, all these lights, all these whistles and blows on it. He crashes it. Miraculously, all that shit falls off. He goes in the cartoon world. He comes out. He learns that lesson, and what does he do? He jumps the ramp. Not stand up for himself. Not tell dad, "Hey, don't fuck my mom in the ass." None of that. That's all he jumps a fucking ramp. That's all he fucking does. This dude killed a fucking dragon. And what does he? No, he escaped the dragon. He used a beanstalk to get away from the fucking dragon to get to the top, and that's how he got to the exit. That's how he met the wizard, played beautifully by Christopher Lloyd. And it fucking hurts me to say this because I'm building it up so much, but it's hurting me because it's not moving on. It's V from Vendetta. There's nothing that little douchebag learns other than just, I'm not going to do this ramp. Well, I just went through all these challenges. I can do this ramp now. However, I can't move on without saying this. There is one hilarious line at the end of the film. He's in his treehouse and he has his three books. And on the silhouette, and with the shadows, you see the silhouette of horror. So good, these three actors, except for me. You see horror, fantasy, and adventure, and they're all hanging out. The camera keeps panning outside, and you still hear the voices. And adventure is clearly talking to fantasy, and he's trying to woo her by saying, "How would you like to cuddle up with a good book?" And just hear this. It's a great it's a great cheesy dad joke line, but every time I think about it, it makes me laugh. And it's gonna make me cry now because it's not moving on. It's V for Vendetta. There's way more there that I don't have to unpack. I don't have to defend this movie at all next to that. And that is a great fucking movie. And it's just Page Master is a great movie. It's not moving on. Uh, I'll just put the the. All right, what's the last two? Please, just give me an easy one. Just give me a layup. If it's two shit movies, it's more fun to talk about two shit movies because I can just get all my hate out instead of praising them because I want to hate fuck something now. By the way, how's everyone doing? I hope you guys are. I'm trying to sleep, but you got me all hot and bothered for movies. That dot 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 is code, folks, for dick and balls. Hello there. That's that, thank you, Brandon. Every time he says that, I can't help but to think Mr. McGregor saying hello there. How fucking good is he? How do you take Allen Guinness and go, what would Obi-Wan Kenobi sound like? Uh, what is it? 40, 30 years at least? If Allen Guinness was a young man, and that's how he comes up with it. That's fucking brilliant. This is a fun one. All right. I like this one. I like both of these movies, but neither one are like, oh, I gotta watch this movie right now. But they're both Forrest Gump guilty pleasure movies where Here's a guilty pleasure bad movie. Your son, Mrs. Gump, is right here. Well, Forrest ain't slow. Well, there must be something we can do about this. Is there a Mr. Gump? Mrs. Gump? He's on vacation. Boy, boy, son, your mama sure do care about your education. Hee, hee, hee. That's a great fucking movie. All right, what was it? The Lake versus what was it? Um, Adam's Family Values. And let's get into what caught my eye first. Let's get into Adam's Family Value and Adam's Family Values. Um, oh, son of a bitch. The guy who directed Men in Black. Um, Barry Sonnenfeld. I forget when these came out. I believe this one came out in 1993. It was either this one came out in 1993 or the original came out in 1993. Either way, both those films are spectacularly good. I bet no matter what generation you are, no matter which order you've seen all these movies, and that includes a TV show, in my eyes, I will always watch this first. I think Barry Sonnenfeld is what Tim Burton tries to be, but Tim Burton just tries to be more scary and zany, and on the same end, Sam Raimi tries to be a little bit more cheesy and funny, and they neither one can like fucking get it there. But Barry just does charm with horror elements. It's not here's your platter of horror and I'm going to sprinkle some comedy on it. It's here's your amazing steak, and oh, is that just a garnish of horror? That's all this dish needed. That's what he does, and he does a fucking great job. I can make the same case for Men in Black with comedy and science fiction. You cannot find a more yes, you can say that Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones bring a lot because they fucking do, and so does Rip Torn and that whole cast. Yeah, of course they do. But that movie and Vincent D'Onofrio, but that movie does not work without Barry. Same fucking thing happens here. If someone else took this took this sequel, it wouldn't have went nowhere. And it sucks that the actor who played Gomez passed away before they made anything else. But this movie's so fucking good that Christina Ricci actually plays Morticia in the not Selena Gomez. What the hell's her name? Oh god damn it! She's an X. She's in speaking of Scream, she's in the new Scream movies. Jenna Ortega, the Jenna Ortega playing Wednesday Adams. It, it's a, and you cannot simply talk about this movie without mentioning Joan Cusack, the spoiled little bitch. This is a perfect. If you stick with me, take a mushroom. Oh wait, this is how the world works. You got spoiled little bitches who think the world should go around this way and fuck everything up for everybody else. Then you have people who know they are, and I'm speaking of Morticia Adams, who just are into what they're into. People don't get it, but as long as they get it and they like it and they don't hurt anybody else doing it and they live in their world, that is the balance that these two share. And when they're on screen together, I can't tell who's about to make love and their game of tennis when they're acting back and forth. Because they're both so good at what they do. They both hit their characters so fucking perfect. And I can't decide which one does a better job because Morticia was already formed in the movie previous, but Joan bringing this brand new character into here and matching an already made character that was already formed years prior. I didn't know this. That the Adams Family, Nostalgia Critic says all this. Can't give that much. I can't give any more love to that creator. Him and his team are amazing. But I learned from his channel that it wasn't just a TV show. The Adams Family was actually comic book strips that would have this family with minute, disturbing, just a hint of a detail that shouldn't have been there. That you would have to be like, you would have to double take. It's not like right there in your face, but it would just be such a small, minute detail that you would have to take a double take of just, wait, what is that? And then you pay attention to it. And that just so happened to form into the Adams Family. And that's how the TV show went on. I'm sure I'm missing a lot from point A to point B, but without that TV show, you don't get this. So big props to that TV show, big props to the comic book strip because you don't get these movies. You can't, again, along with Joan Cusack, maybe even more important, you cannot talk about this movie without talking about Christine Ricci, especially her love interest of the dude who plays the head of the Santa Claus. I just looked up his fucking name too. He was an Oppenheimer. Oh god damn it. I can't remember his name. But the love interest, the little curly headed fuck. And at the camp over there, I love how their punishment is to watch Disney movies. That shit's hilarious. Adam's Family Adams or Family Adams 2 is a charming movie. I think the first one's a little bit better. Oh shit, another Christopher Lloyd movie made my list. That's awesome. And this is where I'm gonna fuck over Christopher Lloyd twice because I'm a fucking idiot, especially when I watch movies. I don't pick up clues. Not that I need spoon fed to me. It's just when certain things happen, I am not picking up on it. I am just watching it surface level. I have trained my mind, and maybe this is just how I am wired. If I go to the theater, I am just there to look at the pretty colors and the big images. The second time I watch it, whether that be at home or back in the theaters, that is when I am looking at the details. I have always been like that. I can't change it. I'm not going to change it. That being said, if there's something that's blatantly right there that some people will figure out before me, chances are I'm not going to piece those things together. Like Malignant, I would have never guessed. If you erase my memory and I watched it right now, I still would not have guessed who the killer is versus who the protagonist is and how their lives and stories meet up and spread on. This movie is fun. This movie is scary as shit. You think it's kind of like The Boy, where you think it's supernatural. It's clearly supernatural. Why can it be anything else? And then it turns on itself and actually, oh, this is a slasher movie. This is a damn good slasher movie behind with the reins behind James Wan. Got this done, I would assume, in the hell clutches of COVID. At the very least, had to do post production during COVID. Post production for anything is a task on itself, and how people in Hollywood and people in that business just do that daily, I don't get. Maybe it's my work ethic. Maybe I'm just a shit person. I don't know. But to do that on top of COVID, where there's so many restrictions, it's amazing how we got this film. It's amazing how we fucking got Zack Snyder's Justice League, let alone this. This is a great, cheesy, campy. This is an 80s movie with the filter of 2021. That's the best way I can put it. You think it's going to go this way, and then it fucking curves, and that curve. Horror movies, when done right, just like Dead Silence, who I talked about, I think it was my last episode, where it's the horror is great, and James Wan does a great thing with it. But I think what makes his stories so good, especially when they're written by him and or Lee Winnell, is the mystery of what is going on. Because you have just as much knowledge as the protagonist, so you can put yourself in their shoes. which makes it so much more interesting. Um, Real quick before I even go on, I'm thinking about the preview for *Malignant*, where it had the God's eye view of her running upstairs and then through the hallways and shit. And I was proud of myself because I actually knew what that term was, and I knew how they did it, and I knew when they should do it, and how effective it can be used in shots like that. And that was I mean, I was holding my little baby, my little baby CJ. I love that kid so much. Um, and that deals with losing a baby. And that's right. I was watching A Quiet Place 2 not long after. Again, if you watched it, there's a brand new newborn baby in that movie too, and I was just, oh man, you're right here, and there's a baby right there. Oh, I love you so much. Anyways, I love the mystery behind James Wan's movie. They make it so much more entertaining because it not only does it take you out and makes you breathe a little from the amazingly set up jump scares that he gives you, but it's kind of like you can take a step back and you can still be engaged with it, but of how all this just kind of made sense and everything. It's got to be *Malignant*, man. *Malignant* is so much fun. Adam's Family is great. If this was the first one, it probably would have a better chance. But even then, I would make an argument of, well, is it Uncle Fester because he lost his memory, but he didn't really lose his memory because he's playing as Uncle Fester, but it really is Uncle Fester? It's so fucking dumb, and I love it. It makes no sense. So either way, either Adam's Family, *Malignant* probably would have won. However, if it was any other James Wan movie, Conjuring has no chance. Conjuring would win. Conjuring 2, maybe. He's got one with Kevin Bacon. I never watched it. I don't know what it's called, but there's another Crown content creator. Shout out to him, Cody Leach. Cannot recommend him enough. He's an awesome YouTuber. Uh, he mentioned the Kevin Bacon movie once. I think he did a list of all James Wan movies, and that one, the Kevin Bacon one, I can't remember what the hell it's called, is either two or number one on his list. Not the right list, just his list. What else did James Wan do? Fast Seven, yeah, probably Adam's Family, because I don't give a shit about Superman in a car. Family. Um, I'd love to hear Vin Diesel's dumbass voice in Italian. Love. Oh, shut the fuck up. Oh, you fucking clown. God damn it. What's your plan for your career? I'm gonna do blood sport. Why is he Rocky? I'm gonna do and you and yo blood sport. I'm gonna do you first. If that doesn't go well, and yo Momoa. Let's make Fast X. Family. La Familia. Anyways, what's another James Wan movie? Oh, Insidious. Yeah, Insidious takes that too. That's a great Insidious 2, probably Adam's Family. Insidious 3, I don't know. Oh, that's right. Lee Winnell directed Insidious 3. Hold on, I'm gonna move on. I'm just trying to give a break. Um, what the fuck else did James Wan do? Aquaman, Adam's Family takes that. The slam fucking dunk. I don't understand how the fuck did that make $1 billion? I, for a minute, they go to Rome, where dumb cunt Heard and pretty boy Momoa, which he is a pretty boy. I would love to have a Guinness with him. Uh, Go to Rome, and all of a sudden it becomes a fucking Hallmark movie. Where the fuck do we go? And then Black Manta is nowhere to be found. Just like his dad. Black Manta. Come on. Come on. Get your shit. Come on. Come on. I know I'm white and I destroyed Buffalo Bills, so you get that. What else did James Wan do? One more. Let me do one more. Oh, Dead Silence. Oh, fuck, man. I love Dead Silence so much. Yeah, Dead Silence takes that too. And Saw, yeah, Saw takes that too. Saw takes that. Saw is so fucking good. First time I watched that, I was on my way to Disney in a car watching it on a portable DVD player, and I was freaking the fuck out, freaking out so much that I immediately had to put in Hitch just to kind of calm me down. And I never did. That movie stuck with me. Saw is great. Saw 2 is, I think, just as good. It's when you should have stopped at 3. It's just like Paranormal Activity. Why fucking go on? Why? I I know you like money. Fucking go kill people and take their fucking wallets because that's better than you putting us through this shit. And I'm joking. Don't get your fucking panties in a bunch. All right. Well, late man. Moves on. Okay. We got any chats? Any chats? No chats? Hey, an hour in. We're doing great time. An hour in, and Daddy has to do this. Real quick. Yeah. My fucking missus had a text me. Whoa, what did that say? Oh, that's great. 5 degrees out. 5 degrees out, and we have shit windows. The cold just seeps in. All right, so we got Logan Lucky versus the Mummy. I already have my answer, so this is what I'll say. The Mummy is such a fun movie. Brendan Fraser brings Rick O'Connell to life. Logan Lucky is a fantastic heist movie that you think is going to go this way, you think they're going to get caught, you think he's going to turn the money in, you think this, you think that, and just like Soderbergh fashion, nope. Napoleon, let me get some thoughts. Okay. Psych, it's fucking glass. Punch. Uh, Logan Lucky is with, because I didn't mention Daniel Craig yet. Daniel Craig, right after, right after he does Spectre, this is his next film. I don't understand how he has a Scottish accent. He can do James Bond, which is still somewhat Scottish, but more British than anything. He does this Kentucky Fried Chicken accent and pulls it off. I think if he doesn't do this movie, not only does he not get Knives Out, one of the best movies from 2019, if not my favorite, but because 1917 came out that same year, it will never beat 1917 because that is my favorite movie of that year. 1917. I mean, I have so many locks and so many codes. That is 1917. So you're going to PA or Pittsburgh and something was locked on it. Just go ahead and use that information out there. I don't give a shit. That was the first time I lost my train of thought. Shit, I was going on such a good roll. Uh, without this role, I don't think he gets Benoit Blanc's accent, which I know is a little bit different, but it's, if anything, not only the character but the accent itself is has way more class into it, has way more intelligence, has more of a country Sherlock, which is exactly what he's going for, hint to it. Whereas this, he's just a meth head who just got his science down to a gnat. I mean, when he's got the gummy bears with the he's got the gummy bear bomb and he's like, this is science. Now, how much Sprite did you put in here? Was it a cat or was it almost a cat? But he gets it to work. Uh, it's so much fun. And this is what I'll say. It ain't the fucking mummy. The mummy is too much fun, man. The mummy is horror, action, romance, adventure, and like five other things that I can't think of right now. That's Logan Lucky is a good movie. You put both in front of me. I'm gonna take the Mummy, and I hate saying that over and over and over again, like that argument of, well, if both are in front of me. It's just I have nowhere to go if both movies are so incredible that I can't pick just one. I gotta go with the Mummy. Plus, that just tells you I haven't had to defend it that much. I haven't even had to get in the nitty gritty with two films now, with two, well, one okay film, but another one that's really fucking good. I mean, so far, if the Mummy was up against Scream, the Mummy would win. If the Mummy was up against Page Master, the Mummy would win. If the Mummy was against Adam's Family 2, the Mummy would win. So, like I said, The Mummy is mine. That's one of the films that I found out and I saw in theaters, which makes it even better. So, Logan Lumpy's out. I gotta put the Mummy. It's in the final. Okay, this is gonna be a tough one. That's a tough one. I love both movies. I'm assuming it's the '99 movie, Mummy. It absolutely. I've seen the Boilers Cough once, and I never knew that that mummy was also named Imhotep. So I found that out. I was like, that's pretty cool. And I did like it how I forget the actor's name, but when he sees Imhotep like rise from the grave, and all you see is like the cloth leaving the architectural room that's right outside the tomb, he just goes insane laughing because that's all you can do. That movie's great. But when you're talking about Universal monsters, the king of all daddies is Frankenstein. You would think it's Dracula. It's not. It's Frankenstein. Frankenstein. I've always been told that is as gothic as a horror movie as you can get. And I'm thinking, dude, it came out in the 30s. Like, how good can it be? Just the sound of somebody shoveling, not only shoveling, but hitting a cardboard that so happened to have microphones under it so you can hear the dirt going you can hear the earth go onto this coffin is such a great small detail that if they don't have that, the word gothic wouldn't probably hold as much weight as it does today. That's just how life works. That movie is so fucking good. It's either that I haven't seen Creature of the Black Lagoon, but I have seen Invisible Man. Hollow Man is good, but Invisible Man with Claude Rains, right? Claude Rains. Claude Rains is amazing. Wolfman, as much as I love werewolves, I can't get behind that. It's too cheesy for me. I can't get behind how this dorky looking guy is trying to mac on this really pretty young lady, and then she wants to go with him. She's interested in him, but yet there's so many red flags, and she still just continues to see him to where eventually this dumb bitch is being chased in the woods. Well, you dumb fucking cunt. The universe was telling you there's something wrong with this guy. It's funny. The first time I really ever watched the Wolfman was through the Sandlot. If you remember, when Benny is getting chased by the Beast, eventually he rips through a screen of a showing of the Wolfman, and but before that, it's editing back to where he's getting chased, the kids are chasing them, but also the Gypsy woman is telling um, Lon Chaney Jr. Uh, what is it? Only a wolf can be killed by a silver bullet, or a silver knife, or a silver stick with a silver handle. You're insane. It just keeps cutting back and forth. That's a great fucking movie. I haven't seen Field of Dream. I haven't seen Mr. 3000. I haven't seen so many other baseball movies. I've seen Major League, but Sandlot is number one for baseball movie of all time. Has to be. You know what? No, I think that back. Moneyball is. There's a lot of people who say that's not a sports movie, and to them, I say, well, you're not a human. Fuck off. It's a sports movie. It's a fucking sports movie. It has sports in it. I understand. That's like saying, well, then Logan Lucky is a NASCAR movie because it's got NASCAR in it. Well, that's fucking different. Why? Because I'm saying it. Mic drop.
Can you hear me?
It's a sports movie. It's a sports movie.
Can you hear
Okay.
me? I know we're
Yes.
live, but still, um, no. Moneyball is probably the greatest sports movie collectively that's ever been produced.
You can make the argument. You can make the argument that trying to think of one that matches up to it, and I can't think of one right now. Remember the Titans? Maybe. Coach Carter,
Just
maybe.
from a writer standpoint to a director standpoint to a just everything standpoint.
How's it hard
Yes.
not to be romantic about baseball?
Yes.
That's
That is
that's
like
fucking great.
me and
Dude,
Solo
it's
have actually like
it's
talked about this like multiple times of like how much we love Moneyball. Like I've every time I watch Moneyball, I'm like, gosh, damn, this is the best sports movie I've seen.
it
It
is.
just is.
Brad Pitt, I don't understand how you're that good looking and that
Aaron
charming,
Sorkin, that
film after
asshole, like
film.
just knows how to write movies. That's what hurts
Sorkin,
me the most. Sorkin knows how to write movies. Like,
not only that, dude, the score in that movie is brilliant.
oh god, the movie is just so freaking good.
It is.
Just everything, the dialogue to the
It's one of those
how they
films that it's so dialogue driven that you can just put it on the background because you know if you've seen it so many times,
yeah.
you don't have to look at it to know. Okay, I know what's on screen. You can be doing dishes or laundry and then just keep cutting back and forth. But as long as you hear it, that's
Mhm.
all you need. That's how good it is. And
Yeah.
it is so inaccurate of what really happened, but I don't care. It's so damn good.
There you go.
Moneyball wins. That makes this random.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's Moneyball. Uh,
That's it, man. It's I can't think of another one that will match up to it, let alone baseball. I mean, a baseball movie, let alone any other sports movie. I'm trying to think one. I can't really.
really can't think of another baseball movie.
Like I said, I never watched.
Major League Rookie of the Year, Little Big League. Like, there's a lot of baseball movies,
Well, the
but
rookie Angels in the outfield, yeah, but they're nothing
yeah,
against Moneyball. Um,
exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. Is like Moneyball, like really, and like I'll put Moneyball over a lot of like Field of Dreams, like those like pristine sports films. Moneyball just does something that's different.
Caddyshack.
I would put Moneyball over that as far as like a sports movie. I would favor Caddyshack over Moneyball, but Moneyball is
I agree with
the
you.
better
Yeah,
film.
that's why I love doing this because you have no idea. I have no idea what kind of mood I'm in. Is it like, well, am I going off of my favorite or the best? I have no idea. Like I had the argument of what is the best one that came out in 1994? Pulp Fiction, Forrest Gump, Shawshank. I am a firm believer now it's Shawshank. Pulp Fiction's my favorite, but I
Hmm.
feel like Shawshank is the
You know
best
what?
one.
I'm surprised you actually like succeeded to the Pulp Fiction. No, the Shawshank over Pulp Fiction.
It's so
Because
without Tim Robbins, it doesn't work.
I know we're live right now,
Maybe you
but
can
still.
recast Morgan Freeman. Maybe you cannot recast Tim Robbins. But now we have Even Vendetta versus Malignant. All right, let's go ahead and get to it. That was a fun side off though. That was Josh, everybody. This has been our review of Echo. Like and subscribe. So V for Vendetta versus Malignant. I didn't even go into it, but of how when Edie gets brought into the prison, the fake prison, and she sees the toilet paper of this story that she believes is fake. Or she knows is real by the time she comes back to V on the night of when he's about to blow up Parliament. She's going, okay, I pieced it together. Clearly, you wrote this. So I don't think I should keep it. You created this. You should have it. And he goes, I didn't. And he goes over. He brings her over, and he sees that woman who the story was about, who gave the life story, who was put into the camp, was born gay, who had the life that she wanted, who became an actress, was right next to him in the cell, he had to have, well, clearly he read the toilet paper. I think what happened was she died. He went in that room because it wasn't like it went through like the next cell. So maybe she put it in there. He found it. That wasn't room 5. And because of this, because she did die, um, that's his vengeance. And that's why he leaves a scarlet rose on every victim, because that was her favorite flower. Not only growing up, that's what she grew, I believe. Her and her life partner was growing, but that was in one of the films that she had, that where she met her life partner in. Sarah? Or no, Sarah was the one that she dated when she was in 7th grade. That had the braids and shit. But that's fucking powerful. That's a reason for to do what you do. And it's very sad, and it's got a lot of emotion. It gives the character way more than just, well, I'm doing this because this government's fucked. All governments are fucked unless you have a personal reason why you're doing the things you do. Now it's no longer a story, it's a legacy. That's the difference between 300 and V for Vendetta. Sin City versus V for Vendetta. Jesus Christ. I can't say that about Logan. Deadpool versus V for Vendetta. Damn it, now talking about it, I think I might change my answer. But Malignant is, again, so much fun with Gregory, so much fun with the daughter there, so much fun with with everybody else, and all the kills. They, dude, so much gore, so much awesome. But when she's in the cell and all the bitches are fucking with her, and all of a sudden when the movie helps you piece the last puzzle together, that it was Gregory the entire time, and she's turning and turning into Gregory, and Gregory just fucks all these cunts up. It's such a good scene. It is the what's a movie that, if you guys can think of one, what's a movie that there's a villain, there's another villain, and then here comes Jurassic Park. Here's a big ass villain, and then here's some punk ass villains, and then the big ass villain's gonna come over and fuck up these punk ass villains. It's gonna help our other ones escape. Kind of like the same thing right there. It's so much fun, but I keep using the word. Damn it, I was gonna go with Malignant, and now talking about it, son of a bitch. That's why I love this show, man. On paper, I'm like, oh yeah, that, and then when I really talk about it, my shit can change. Malignant is so much fun. It's not my favorite James Wan film. It's gonna be under Dead Silence. It's gonna be under Saw. It's gonna be under probably Insidious. It'd be close. It would top above Aquaman. It would top above X7 or Fast 7. I mean, it's but V for Vendetta. There's so much there. I got lucky because someone on a different trip to Disney, someone put it on this tour bus. Um, it was a marching band, and we got like a charter bus, like a Greyhound bus, and someone put it in, and our band director looked back to talk to somebody, didn't see that it said rated R because we couldn't watch it. We were high school kids, and it was playing, and then I was just, for some reason, this gorgeous girl gave me the time, and we were fooling around in the back, and it was so much fucking fun. First time that I was like real like intimate with a girl, and it was beautiful. Honestly, it was. I mean, to give this fucking schmuck the time of the day, I had no idea she was even interested in me, so I didn't pay attention to that movie at all. So I owe her so much gratitude that my first viewing wasn't. I barely got to see it. I barely got to hear it. Surrounded by all these fucking idiots talking. I mean, a lot of them were my friends, but I didn't get like a clear perspective until I kept hearing, "Man, that was a great movie. That was a great movie." So I went up to my friend Mercedes. I call her Benzie. I go, Benzie, can I borrow that movie? She's like, yeah, go ahead. Took it that night. Didn't give it back to her till maybe 2 weeks later. And I was like, I'm sorry this took so long. I literally watched this every day. It was that good. It's like a 2.5 hour movie. It's that good. It, God, not to mention, I'm gonna say, fuck it. Not to mention, this is the next project that the Wachowskis tackled after the trilogy of Matrix, or which I call Matrix, and then Matrix 2, then Matrix 2.5, because both those movies belong together. Because it's not 2 and 3, it's one. Holy shit! Whoa, okay, we fucked up. How do you fuck up Matrix Revolutions? The battle scene in Zion was amazing. Why couldn't it been that the entire way? And I don't give a fuck about Blaine. How do you set that up? How is that your cliffhanger? And then you barely go anywhere with that in Revolutions. Yeah, he blinded Neo and all that. And it was pretty cool that he had the best of Smith and all that. He stops a fucking sentinel in Revolutions, and they don't explain that shit at all. Maybe you lose Gloria Foster, so you got to bring in another actress playing the Oracle, and her response is, "I made a choice, and this is the consequence. Moving the fuck on." I get it. You have to. You got to pay respects to Gloria. I understand that. But to just skim it across like that for us, the fans, I felt like that was such a disservice. I understand that, like, when an act like Chadwick Boseman, if God forbid, if you were to replace him with somebody else, and would have to bullshit your way through that, that's one thing. But just to say, well, this is a computer generated world, anyways, I made a choice, my face changed. The fucking end. You want a cookie? Cookies need love just like everything does. You are a bastard. You would know, Mom. There's a great, just spilling out so many fucking commentators. Matt Rife, I think his name is. I might be getting that wrong, but film theory. He's got a theory that it's not Neo, it's Agent Smith that is the one. It's Agent Smith that resets and basically saves the world, and his points on it make a lot of fucking sense. It's a great video. I honest to God thought Malignant was going to take this and talk it out, and I just love V Vendetta more. It just makes more sense that V Vendetta is going to go up against the Mummy instead of Malignant up against Mummy. So, V Vendetta. Oh, excuse me. Shit. Oh, fuck. My first time. I'm sorry. You're just so pretty. I'm nervous. The B, C, or that. We got any chats before the last round? Any at all? Any? If Saul and Josh want to come on and just bullshit for like 2 to 5 minutes about anything, nothing. By the way, guys, if you're still listening to this dumbass, thank you. But subscribe to the Patreon. Give this channel as much love as possible. Everybody in this program platform does amazing work. Puts their time and effort in. All I do is I give me 2 films. I'm gonna say this one's better. Okay, now these two. That one's better. Now I put these two. No, this one's the best. That's all I do. That's all I do. It just so happens to be entertaining. I don't know how. I'm not trying to be modest. I don't know how. I can make myself laugh, let alone other fucking people. That just if I make other people laugh, that really makes me scared for the human race. But whatever, to each their own. But everyone on this platform does a great job with all their shows. You should definitely give them love. If you're gonna give this channel love, please go give them love. They actually put in the work. They put in the time. They put in the effort. Um, yeah, this is a great channel, and I'm very blessed that I know these fine people and that I'm a part with them. So the last one, The Mummy versus V for Vendetta. This is a tough one. This is a very, very, very tough one. I have to defend The Mummy. I have to get in the nitty gritty with it now. The opening to it of how Emotep became the curse on it anyways, which let's get this the fuck out of the way. If you're so scared of a curse, why even do it? Can't you just kill him? Can't but he's gonna go in the afterworld. Okay, fine. Let Anubis take care of him. Why do you feel like you have to? Why put this curse on him? It makes no fucking sense to me. It's kind of like when you're procrastinating, you're like, let future Aaron deal with it. Yeah, fuck that guy. That's what these people are doing. Let our aunt, let's let our descendants years down the road deal with it. I mean, we're gonna be long, kind of like how we're doing now. We're just fucking this planet until a coma. I'm just like, let our children fucking deal with it. Make more plastic. Jesus Christ. Fuck, we're so fucked. I really hope this is a simulation because we're not doing a good job. I don't know his name, but without the aspect, the element of Benny being there, the sidekick, the Robin to Emotep's Batman, the one minion, the one big lieutenant that just so happened to know Rick before any of this started, is fantastic. He's so much fun. Uh, Rachel Weisz is fucking gorgeous in this movie. I'm not saying women who get older get less attractive. I am saying with this woman in particularly, just gets hotter and hot. I don't get it. Your prime years are for everybody are supposed to be in either your late teens, 20s, if neither one, damn sure your 30s. Look at this fucking face. It's past, clearly. She's in her 50s now, and I still don't think she hit her fucking prime. Brendan Fraser is so much fun. I'll say it again. I'll make this analogy again. If he doesn't do George of the Jungle, if he doesn't rip himself, if he doesn't get the tone muscle for that movie, he doesn't do this character justice of just being a big, burly, uh, not gonna take any shit, just gunslinger motherfucker, and just gonna wipe everybody out on that boat. That boat is a fun scene when all those guys come on and trying to get the key. Where is the key? Key? What key? And oh, the map. Help me, the map. Map's up here. It's so much fun. Hamna Natra, the chase to get there is so much fun. Oh, Carl! Looks like I got all the horses. Hey, Benny! Looks like you're on the wrong side of the river. Shit. And then he realizes. Oh, it's so stupid. I love it. It's chock full of charm and laughter and a little bit of a horror element, but not enough to call it a horror. I would give it the label of horror, but like the fourth genre jam, I would call this action, adventure, um, suspense, then horror, or something along those lines. Um, the scarabs in here are creepy as hell. I mean, I still think so. I watched this movie. I go to Africa. I'm deployed. They have y'all. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. This is maybe 3/4 of the beetles that they have. These giant water beetles that will take flight. They remind me a lot of the scarabs. They're fucking huge. And I love falcons because they would just come down and swoop them up. Good, take them. Um, it was funny too. They had like these giant grub worms with wings, and what they would do they evolved to what they would do is they would kamikaze themselves into the ground, to which they would burrow them, like they would hit the ground, penetrate the ground, and they would burrow themselves into the ground and like nest there and whatever. Well, we were in a shack that obviously had concrete floor, so these dumb motherfuckers are just unknowingly suiciding themselves into the ground, breaking their dumbass bug necks. It was the funniest thing ever. But then again, that brought big ass, not kidding, vampire bats into there, which is a feeding frenzy, and I'm just scared going, I don't want to drink blood for the rest of my life. Don't bite me. And or get rabies. Moving on. I can't. There's nothing else I can talk about V Vendetta that I haven't said already, other than the progression of the first November the 5th all the way to the next one. That journey, which is the whole movie, which I understand, to get from point A to point B, so much needs to happen and so much information needs to come across. But the storytelling and the editing to get there, to let you know, okay, you need to know this chunk. Now you need to know this. Let's go back here and fill in the blanks here. Now you know all this. Let's go here. We're almost there. You just need a little bit more information. Now the story can continue on going. Kind of like when what's his face, when V goes up to Creedy and says, if you accept, put an X across, and you just see Creedy in his greenhouse looking pissed off because he didn't get the job done. The job was laid down to him. He's a very proud man. You're not like him. You're like me. You're not afraid of death. The only thing we have in common, Mr. Creedy, is we're both about to die. Bollocks. How do you think with my hands around your necks? What are you talking about? Oh, you got your knives and karate gimmicks. We got guns. No, what you have are bullets in the hopes that when they're out, I'm not still standing. Because if they are, forget the fucking line. I fucking love that scene. And John Hurt plays a great asshole dictator at the same time, whiny little bitch. When he dies, there's no chance in hell he didn't piss his pants. especially especially when when V goes down to him and gives him like his last words, puts a scarlet rose in his pocket, and he goes, Mr. Creedy. Creedy goes right up to him and says, disgusting. And right before I feel like he dribbles just a little bit. I mean, I would. I'm not that much of a man either, man. I talk about movies for fucking fun. I don't build shit. Uh Dude, V for Vendetta is so goddamn good. And I'm trying to find flaws anywhere. And my recollection is I can't find anything. The one, the one flaw, and I'm trying not to go back to it, is Natalie Portman. I can't get behind her performance. There's something about just. It's kind of like you tell me, all right, take this triangle and put it in one of these shapes in the box. And I'm trying to fit the triangle and it's not going. Then here comes somebody and goes, well, it can fit in a square box. And I'm going, it's not supposed, it works, but it's not supposed to go in there. Why is it not going in the triangle where it's supposed to fucking go? I understand how you can do that, but my mind just says that shouldn't work, and it does. So I reject it. I want to accept it, but I fucking reject it. That's how I feel about her performance in this film. Whereas nobody, the Mummy, I feel like that. So point goes to the Mummy. When you talk about just the story and the action itself, well, fuck that. When you talk about just the action has to go to V for Vendetta. There's not a lot. Then again, there's not really a lot in the Mummy. Let's be real. The boat, the at the oh, I forgot about the end. The end when he's fighting all the zombie mummies there. Well, I guess just the mummies right there. But that's really it. And then also the I call it more adventure side, which can coincide with action. Is when they're in the plane and you see the giant face of sand, which not only to this day holds up CGI wise, but is a great visual effect and is a great storytelling. And well, it's a lot of it's great movie magic. I'll say that it's a lot of fun with that, and they do it fantastic. Uh, okay, so I take that back. I guess action has to go to the Mummy as well. Characters, pretty much everybody in the Mummy is you get what you get. There's no twists, there's no turns. Whereas V, there's way more behind that mask than you know, and I think it is a brilliant choice. And I would love to know what other people's opinions are on this. I think it's a brilliant choice. You do not see his face. You don't see his. You see his hands. You put the pieces together. Okay, that's the rest of his body. That's all you need. I don't need to see how disfigured he is. I don't need to see if he has any hair. I don't need to see this, or that. All I need is exactly what he's putting out there, which is this is my mask. This is the mask they gave me because they wanted to shape us into something else. I don't know what that something else is. I would assume super soldiers or something like that. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It ain't the story. But this is the mask that I put on. This is the armor at the same time that they forced me to put on, and I'm gonna force myself onto that. I know it sounds rapey, but that's basically what he's fucking doing. His ideology penetrates every every single citizen in there, whether you're on his side or not. Because blowing up Parliament and then saying, "I'm gonna blow up," or excuse me, I blowing up Old Bailey and then saying I'm gonna blow up Parliament next year. There's no way to ignore that. That's kind of like blowing up um, the Washington Monument and then saying, okay, a year from now, the Capitol is going to be blown up, and then that park in DC is going to be filled with people wearing this mask. And I love it at the end when the detective asks Stevie, "Who was he?" And her answer is, "He was Guy Fawkes. He was this person. He was my mother. He was my father. He was me. He's all of us. He's the one person we all needed to stand up, to take our freedom back, to say, I'm not going to take it." Like the fucking line itself, and I hated that he's wearing that silly ass apron when he's cooking her for her first morning there, eggs in a basket. But he has a great line. People shouldn't be afraid of their governments. Government should be afraid of their people. And that's exactly how it fucking should be. But sadly that isn't the truth. But he says that, and it gets your mental gears working. And from that point on, I feel like if you aren't on his side with that very fast delivered line, you are. Or at least you're on the fence. This is a fucking hard choice, man. I don't like I'm gonna watch both. So I can't use the argument, not only because I already used it once already, but I can't use the argument you put both in front of me, which one am I gonna watch? I it's kind of like what Nick Frost says to Simon Pegg. Bad Boys 2 or Point Break? Which one do you think I'll prefer? No, which one do you want to watch first? If I watch one, I'm gonna watch the other one right after it. Uh, I think okay. I would have to go off of how they genuinely make me feel afterwards. I get all the satisfaction and charm with the Mummy because not only do they win, they save the world, but they get away with the gold. But you have Jonathan, who's just there to say, hey, this was that plague, or he is Mr. Exposition. Do you remember in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, the dumbass who shoots one of Caesar's kids or fellow ape? Like he's just there for the plot to roll on. That's what Jonathan, and that's what Edie's brother is there for. You don't need him at all except for exposition. That's it. That's all. I mean, the actor he does a great job in being the Lord in Spartacus when he owns all the gladiator slaves. I forget his fucking name though. He's a great actor. He plays it. He plays it perfectly. He knows the role. He plays the role. He delivers it perfectly. I'm saying how he's written for the story. You do not need him at all. You can where you can say kind of the same thing about Evie, what the exact opposite of the story needs her. You don't need Natalie Portman though. You just don't. So there, I both of those cancel each other out, and I can't figure out. Okay, I think I got it. No, I don't. Because I'm trying to think of the music for V for Vendetta, and I can't really remember it. I do. I remember the music for the Mummy, but do I love it? Is it one of my favorites? No, it's not on my Mount Rushmore. My Mount Rushmore includes John Williams, Hans Zimmer, um, Alan Silvestri, and then my biggest two, Michael Giacchino and Thomas Newman. I know none of them did the Mummy. Oh, dude, this is so hard. I I would have to. Oh fuck. I I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to rush this, but I want to be honest with myself. 'Cause I'm not honest with myself. I'm not honest with you guys, and I don't want to give a fake uh, opinion. Because then I'd just be called CNN. Uh, I I gotta go with the Mummy. V for Vendetta is so good. The ending, though, of how you see her dead parents, you see her the comedy producer, director, whatever. I forget his name too. He's an English comedian in real life. He actually played the brother of Sherlock and Sherlock Holmes Game of Shadows. I forget his fucking name though. Uh, whenever you see him being unmasked, I think you see Guy Fawkes being unmasked too. That's beautiful. But the fact of like literally riding off into the sunset. They have the gold. They won down the checklist. They won every box that you can think. Even even the leader of the Magi. I can remember that. Can't remember the fucking actor's name. He was the Gigolo in Deuce Bigelow. Uh, he fucking accidentally blends out his expensive fish. He's like, "What's this? Oh, it's a welcome me home present." He drinks it. Spicy. Great. He lives. Uh, I can even use the argument of it let me see the Mummy Returns, but then it also gave me um, the Mummy 3 and Scorpion King 2 and 3. So it's kind of like without this franchise, Dwayne Johnson doesn't have a career. A lot of his movies I don't like. Gridiron Gang means something to me. Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle means something to me. Moana is CJ's one of his favorite movies, and that movie doesn't work without him. I don't care what you fucking say. Yeah, anybody else could have taken it, but it wouldn't have been as much fun without his voice. Super Pets is one of CJ's other favorite movies and mine. Without this franchise, you don't get Dwayne Johnson. I can't believe that he is the fucking reason I'm saying. Because The Rock, I'm a huge fan of. Dwayne Johnson, you can fuck off sometimes. But I don't want to leave on a sour note. I think because of that factor, you got to go with that. But not only that, if you want to go a step further, for Brendan Fraser to have this franchise and a little bit other projects here and there, and of course Doom Patrol, but to kill it as Charlie in The Whale in 2022. Not only that, but to win alongside Ki Kwan and Michelle Yeoh with my favorite A24 movie, Everything Everywhere All at Once, with my third favorite A24 movie that year, because X definitely takes number two of that. For him to win the Oscar for that, just to solidify, remember how fucking good he was, and look how good he still is. Whereas Hugo Weaving, besides Elrond, besides Megatron, well, fuck Megatron, besides Mr. Smith, and besides the detective from Wolfman, the dad of Hacksaw Ridge, sure, but I gotta go the money. I gotta go the money. So there you have it, folks. For the third episode, the winner of Random Bracket Battles is 1989's Brendan Fraser lead, The Mummy. Thank you all so much who are still listening. I'm so sorry it took so long, but for me to get through this. But hey, I love doing this. Josh Mabry says Aaron is amazing. Thank you very much, man. I just talk. That's all I do, and somehow it's entertaining. People who are still watching this, whether it be live, thank you very much for sticking around with me this late, or if you're watching it in the recording and still with me to the end. Thank you very much for sticking around with me and just listen to me yabble. I love talking about film. I don't care what film it is. My movie knowledge, I'm gifted with just remembering stuff, and I use that for my own advantage, which is just remembering little things. I don't need a conversation. I can just remember lines from Dumb and Dumber and be like, "It was a good day. All right, I got worms." What? That's what we're gonna call it. I see. That's all I need. And and again, guys, uh, subscribe to the Patreon, subscribe, like, and subscribe this movie. It's been my review of Echo. Um, yes, I need a commercial. Uh, inside joke. Join the Patreon, join the Discord if you can. A lot of great people there for fun conversations. A lot of good topics to have discussions with and all that. Um, the Patreon is patreon.com/ruckusev, RUCKUSEV. Uh, huh, EV. What's so funny? That I, much like God, do not believe in consequences. I'm so sorry you didn't get picked, but I gotta take the money. Thank you guys very much. I will see you next week on another episode of Random Bracket Battles. Peace.